Your employees are the true rock stars of your company. They can bring immense value to your organization. But if they don't feel your appreciation for everything they bring to the table, they may decide it's time for a change. Ensuring compliance with the latest regulations is crucial, but what truly matters is nurturing the mental and physical well-being of your employees to cultivate their happiness, loyalty, and unwavering engagement. But how will you know what they need? And how can you make sure they get exactly that? Introducing Sprout Wellness, an all-in-one wellness solution designed to provide the benefits your employees deserve without putting any additional strain on your HR team. All wellness services are provided by skilled and certified professionals. With 5 main components, Sprout's wellness program embraces a complete approach to employee wellness, providing you with the tools and insights needed to ensure it. Analytics, combining Sprout Pulse and wellness to collect survey data. Awareness and learning, providing education opportunities, group activities, meditation, yoga, and coaching sessions for employees. Consultation, nurturing mental health through counseling. Compliance, drafting a mental health policy for your company. Sprout's solution is customizable to your employees' needs, reduces stress and anxiety, provides a safe and stimulating environment, and shows employees that you value their well-being. Unlock the power of employee satisfaction and skyrocket productivity with Sprout Wellness. What are you waiting for? Book a demo with Sprout today, the most trusted end-to-end HR platform.
My name is Katie De Leon. I'm the Head of Human Resources and Consumer Affairs. What I noticed during our payroll is that my compensation and benefits specialist would always wait for all the branches to submit their timekeeping. It takes a lot of effort for him to consolidate everything, and especially it's like a waiting game for us. All the forms are filed manually. I really wanted to streamline the process and at the same time make it more efficient. When I saw Sprout, it's actually more affordable for us, and it really suited the local setting.
Our payroll process more on manual talaga. So we use biometrics sa ating mga branches. Ayun, so medyo hassle kasi every payroll cut-off, you have to download all the attendance of the employees there in the branches. Ayun, I have to request pa sa payroll namin. Once na kulang yung attendance ng employee, you can easily find the form na po talaga like certificate of attendance to certify na pumasok sila nung araw na yun. Unlike before na more on ano talaga, manual.
This last payroll namin, so nag-start ako ng Sunday. And then Monday, tapos na ako.
Sprout really helped us with the technology during pandemic. It's actually the perfect timing for us to migrate because when it was during the lockdowns, of course, people wouldn't want to do biometrics, right? It helped also in the process of adapting to the situation because everyone was going digital at that time. It was a huge leap or a huge step for us to make, but I think it's worth it.
Your business is made out of many moving parts, all run by people with their own processes, goals, and needs. Before you know it, all these parts start evolving in many different ways. And as your business grows, the way you work evolves too. Eventually, you will face new and difficult challenges. But the good news is, you don't have to do it all by yourself. The future of work is here, and we're here to help you every step of the way. Are you growing your company? If you are, we'll help you improve your recruitment process, from sourcing all the way to hiring. Not only can we get you candidates, we will get you the right ones and fast. You can onboard and manage your entire workforce easily with Sprout HR, your all-in-one platform for managing attendance, leaves, 201 files, and more. With Sprout, you can also clock in and out from anywhere, and you can rest easy knowing that your employees are compensated properly. Your government contributions and forms are taken care of with the most compliant system on the market. We can also help you improve your employee experience. Attract and retain your talent with the best financial, mental, and physical health benefits that any company can offer. And see how your new employee experience is driving engagement. This helps your employees stay with your company. But how can we help them grow and become better? With our performance and learning management tool, you can do just that and a whole lot more. Become bigger and stronger than ever. Come join the ecosystem. It all begins with Sprout.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. So I see there are a few people already in the chat section. If you guys haven't yet, feel free to say good morning to everyone and let us know from where you're watching. So we have a few people here watching from QC. Hello to Rolando Visca. Also, good morning to Lucky Prince Rosales, Uni Olimberio, and Liza or Liza San Jose. Sorry, not. Oh, good morning as well to Jonathan Benedicto from Batangas. Wow. Okay, so today's webinar is about future-proofing rural banks, integrating HR and AI for modernization and efficiency. So as the financial landscape evolves, rural banks face distinct challenges in attracting and retaining talent, streamlining operations, and staying competitive. So if these challenges are something that you're going through right now, then stay tuned because we'll explore how strategic integration of HR and AI can be the key to unlocking success. Oh, wow, more people saying good morning. Someone from Bato, Leyte. Hi, Emilio Virge Tabada, also from Butuan City, Agusan del Norte. Well, it's so amazing to see people coming here from different parts of the Philippines, like some even that I haven't been to. So I hope it's really great there right now. I hope the weather is great there right now. Okay, so my name is Inka and I will be your host for today. But before we get started, let me talk to you guys a little bit about Sprout. So Sprout Solutions is the largest homegrown B2B software as a service company in the Philippines and the most trusted end-to-end provider of HR and business solutions. We're here to help Philippine businesses grow through our ecosystem of HR, business, and AI-powered solutions that prepare organizations for the future of work. So if you guys want to learn more, check out this video.
Are you spending too much time on payroll? Are you unable to spot the root causes of attrition? With the right system, you can hire the right talent. Pay your employees on time, track their performance, and focus on career development. So let go of manual work and embrace digital transformation. Build a stress-free environment and empower your employees to perform at their best. Choose Sprout to improve and automate every stage of the employee lifecycle so you can focus on what matters. Our customer success team will provide a seamless onboarding experience. Sprout's tailor-fit solutions address common HR pain points of Philippine businesses. Let us support you in your journey to digital maturity. With positive reviews and global recognitions, Sprout continues to impact the life of every Filipino by improving businesses in the country. Join over 1,000 organizations that have transformed their businesses and empowered their people. Let Sprout innovate and transform your core business infrastructure, ensure your employees' financial health, and reimagine the concept of total wellness, because that's what great employers do. And great employers use Sprout. Start your journey with Sprout today.
Okay, so we have more people greeting us. Good morning. Thank you so much for chatting with us and participating. So if you guys enjoy webinars like this one, please follow us on our social media. That's at Sprout HR Tech. And keep an eye out for brand new episodes. So later on in this webinar, we'll have a fireside chat session where you can ask our speakers anything about the topic. So to send in your questions, just click the Q&A button, which you can find at the bottom of your screen. And you can start thinking about your questions as early as now and send them in. And later on, we'll try to answer as many of them as we can. So if you guys are ready, we'll kickstart with our first session. So to give a brief background, her journey in HR commenced at Accenture Philippines, where she began as a recruitment assistant and steadily progressed up the corporate hierarchy to the role of recruitment system analyst. Notably, she spearheaded a pivotal project successfully implementing demand management and recruitment systems, showcasing her adeptness in technology. Fueled by her curiosity and passion for business process improvement, she transitioned to the banking sector with East West Bank Corporation. Here, she initially served as a process architect before returning to HR as a learning and development officer at the East West Academy. With 18 years of experience in HR spanning the technology or IT, BPO, and banking industries, she currently serves as the head of Human Resources and Consumer Affairs Department of TR Bank Incorporated. Let's all welcome Ms. Katie De Leon.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me here. Before I start my topic for today, I'd just like to introduce the company that I'm currently working for. I'm from TR Bank Inc. This is the TR Bank journey that I would like to share with you guys. Next slide, please. Okay, for those who do not know TR Bank yet, we've been in the industry actually for almost 68 years. No? We're turning 68 in March. We started in 1956. It's formerly known as Tanay Rural Bank. So baka mas kilala nyo siya, or if you have heard Tanay Rural Bank before, that's our former name. So it was established in 1956. And then in 1977, it was awarded the most outstanding rural bank in regions 4 and 4A. And then in 1991 to 2006, we opened our first few branches in Angono, Antipolo, and in Taytay. And then in 2007, our partnership with Asia Link Finance Corporation has been established also. If you know Asia Link Finance Corporation, it's a well-known financing company in the Philippines. So they are our affiliates. And then in 2009, our corporate head office and branch in Cainta was built. And then in 2015, 2016, another partnership with STEM Financial. It's a Hong Kong-based private investment company has been established. And then we also opened our branches in Ortigas, San Fernando, and Lipa, Batangas. And then in 2019, we rebranded to TR Bank Inc. BSP approved our new name, TR Bank Inc. in December 2019. And then our first milestone on that year also is having um, 18 billion loan releases. And then in 2022, sir, this is something that I'm really proud of as being part of the TR Bank family. In 2022, TR Bank Inc. Was ranked number 17 in the top 20 rural banks in the Philippines in terms of assets. Yeah. So when I started in TR Bank, I actually searched for TR Bank Inc. in the I think it was the top 50 or top 100 rural banks in the Philippines, and I couldn't find it. But when I came in 2019, I'm really proud that in my years of stint here, I was able to witness the growth of the bank. So in 2022, we were ranked number 17. Okay, so that's a TR Bank journey. So further, next slide, please. So this is our mission and vision. Our vision is to be the best SME bank in the Philippines, growing together with our clients. And our mission is to reach our goal by creating value and opportunities for our stakeholders. Our objective is to be better than the day before. That's actually our employee mantra: to strive better, do better, to be better than the day before. So, how are we going to accomplish our mission? These are the following shareholders that stakeholders rather that we are looking into collaborating with. So depositors, we provide competitive rates and high quality service backed by prudent governance. And for our borrowers, we provide fast, efficient, flexible loans to help their business prosper. And then for our employees, we also provide opportunities to develop their full potential in a friendly, respectful environment with fair reward for their contributions. And of course, for our shareholders, we provide optimal returns consistent with sound business practice. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so for our core values, we call it CFORD as the abbreviation. So it's easier to recall, right? So CFORD, C stands for courageous. We are not afraid to ask questions or express our views. I is for integrity. We won't compromise our values for economic gain. Fair. We are straightforward and treat our customers and employees respectfully and honestly. O is for one firm or one family. We work with a common purpose. We share objectives and outcomes, triumphs and challenges together. And then is for reliable. We do what we say we will do. And dynamic, we are agile, innovative, and constantly strive to do things better. Ayan. So basically, that's TR Banking. So I hope I was able to share a little bit of information about our company. So for our topic today, workforce management. Okay, so there are two things that I'd like to focus on in terms of workforce management. Workforce planning or strategic planning. So what is workforce planning? Okay, so it's the process of assessing and forecasting the workforce's resources, mainly the volume of manpower needed. While strategic planning is the process of assessing and forecasting the workforce's goals, where we are now and where we want to be. Okay, so I think the question now is which one we must do. Can I engage the audience, Miss Inka? I just like to ask the question.
Yes, feel free to do
What do
so.
you think we should do? Workforce planning or strategic planning? Do we have answers in the chat box? Okay, so some say strategic planning. Plan on the workforce to do the strat plan better. Daryl says both. Ayan. So if you go to the next slide, please. Okay, go ahead. Ayan. So tama si Daryl, no? So we should do both workforce planning and strategic planning. Next slide, please. Okay, so why do we need to do both daw? So that's the question. Why do we need to do both? Any ideas from the audience? Wala. Naku, mukhang natutulog pa yung audience natin. Okay, so why do we need to do both strategic planning, workforce planning? Okay, sige. So ako na lang. So actually, guys, workforce planning is already part. Ayan, so say, Felimar says for better result. Yes. So actually, workforce planning is already part of your strategic planning. Okay. In the strategic planning process, next slide, please. So in the strategic planning process, I will not burden you guys with all the technicalities of strategic planning, but these are the key factors that you should remember when doing the strategic planning. So in the strategic planning process, you always start with where am I now versus your previous goals. So you have to assess where you are now and if you were able to achieve your previous goals, or if not, where are you or how far along are you in achieving those previous goals. And then the next thing you do is to do the goal or target setting for the following year or for the succeeding years. Because in strategic planning, your plans may be short term, it can be long term, right? So if, for example, you're doing it for just the following year, so you do the goal and target setting for the following year. So how are you going to do that? So there's also a process of doing the SWOT analysis, right? And for if you're doing it for the first time, it's important to do the SWOT analysis or the quadrant, the SWOT quadrant, that you will be able to know your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. But if it's not the first time, I suggest doing the TOES quadrant instead. So it's not the reverse of SWOT, but it's rather the um, it's the step wherein you process your SWOT, wherein you will assess or you will translate your threats and weaknesses into opportunities and strengths. And then after that, you have to consider other factors such as financial, customer, operational, internal, and people perspectives. And of course, you also look at the corporate level strategies where will we play and how we will win. Okay, so that's part of your goal and target setting. Then after that, you ask again, where am I now versus the new goals and the targets. Right, so that's where you plot your plans already, whether that's a short term or long term. Then you always go back to the vision and mission because your plans have to be aligned with your company's vision and mission. And okay, so that's for the workforce planning, no? So it's already part of the strategic planning process. Okay, so in the workforce planning, you will look at the factors to consider. You will see their internal and people perspective. So that's where you look at like how many people do I need to have if I need to achieve the following goals, right? Or how many resources or what tools or what systems I need to use to be able to achieve these goals. So there comes the process improvements also, the streamlining of the processes, automations that you need to do in order for you to achieve your goals and targets. Okay? Any questions for this topic before I move on to the next topic? I think we have a Q&A naman later. Ano? Sige. So let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so I'll be discussing learning and development. Next slide, please. So in learning and development, we have a framework that we follow. It's a very standard and common framework naman, no, in organizations. No? It's nothing new. It's not something that I came up with. It's a standard and common practice to use the ADDIE model. So if you're familiar with the ADDIE model, no, it's very helpful in terms of how are you going to implement or what kind of trainings you will implement into your organizations. So the first thing you do is to analyze the needs of the bank, the departments, and the employees. So you will need to do the training needs assessment on this part, right? But if you already also have like the core competencies of the bank, all you have to do is to assess the gaps between the existing or the ideal competencies that you have versus the actual competencies that the people have. Okay. Once you have that data, so you need to have that data, you will design the program or the trainings that will be implemented based on the data that you have. With this, we use the 70-20-10 approach. Later, I will discuss it. And then after you have the design, you start developing the materials. Like if it's an online module or if it's a face-to-face training, is it coaching, mentoring, you have to develop the materials that will be used for the implementation of your training programs. Okay. So in the implementation, you have to also make sure that all the materials are already prepared. And of course, if it's a face-to-face training, you have your venue, you have your food. Of course, food will always be there for training programs. Actually, that's one of the things that people are looking out for. What's the food for our training today? Right? So in the implementation part, it's not just the training program itself, but you also have your speaker, you have your logistics, and you also have to do your monitoring of attendees, the completion, right? Then after that, you evaluate. You evaluate in terms of, was the training helpful for the attendees? Was the speaker able to deliver the training program based on the objectives? How else can we improve the training program? So then it's just a cycle, right? So that's the adding model. So you can use this one actually not just for training, for learning and development. You can actually use this for like simple projects or simple deliverables that you may have. It's a very common framework. So this is what we use, at least for the learning and development. So in the next slide, I mentioned the 70-20-10 approach. That's what we use in designing and developing our training programs. Next slide, please. So there. So the 70-20-10 approach, it's a system wherein you divide the different learning milestones of an employee, right? So for the 10%, it's a formal or self-learning self-learning. As for the 20%, come in. Apart from that, you can also have the focus group discussions, seminars, the coaching and mentoring part. That also includes the 360-degree feedback and performance reviews. So the 20% is learning from others. So the biggest chunk of the learning approach is the 70%, which is learning by doing. So this is the on-the-job training that we are um, more familiar with, right? And then there's also shadowing, revalida, special projects, cross-functional tasks, or changing roles, or working with other departments. So the thing is, why are we using the 70-20-10? So with the 70-20-10 approach, um, we can actually see, or we can actually gauge if the employee has absorbed the training that he or she has attended to. So it's an approach wherein we make sure that the employees have learned from the training that they have attended. So there. So I hope this can be helpful to you guys. You can also use this approach if you need to, right? So there. So any questions for learning and development? Yes, okay, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so for employee engagement and retention strategies, very broad yung employee engagement eh. The employee engagement actually addresses three key factors. So that already includes the retention, the culture building, and the productivity of our employees. So the employee engagement doesn't necessarily have to be costly. There are different activities that you can do, different programs that you can formulate in order for you to be able to address all these three factors. In the next slide, I just have a few examples that we are currently doing. Okay, so of course there is an employee engagement survey and program. So this is I think the most activity that we're familiar with. So the employee engagement survey has to be done. It actually it depends on how the results are. So the data from the survey will really help you gauge or help you gauge the pulse of the employees, like how are they doing, what are they looking forward to, or if they have like suggestions on how to improve the organization, right? And those data will help you also plot your strategies or your strategic plans all throughout the year or its succeeding years. So it really depends on the output of the data. You can conduct the survey either every year or every 2 to 3 years. So it depends on how much plans you're going to come up in based on the survey results. So that will give you also an idea of how long your strategic plans will be, if it's a short term or long term, right? And of course, part of the employee engagement and retention strategy is the learning and development, right? So we invest so much in our people's trainings and development programs. So um, nowadays, there are still organizations, sadly, that doesn't support the training and development of people. For us in TR Bank, this is very important because as a rural bank, some people would think that, oh, they're just a rural bank, and their people might not be as as competent as the people in the bigger banks. No, you'd be surprised of how competent and how brilliant people are working in rural banks nowadays. We are one of those rural banks who are really invested in the people's learning and development, right? So you guys should start too if you're not investing. So people is the key, right? So an organization will not run without the people. So we need to invest on our people. Rewards and recognition, of course, we do have like annual awards, and we also do have our loyalty awards. We always well, not to disregard other employees, but we also focus on our tenured employees. We've been in the industry for 68 years, and we have employees who have been with TR Bank for like 25, 26 years already. So we try to take care of them um, until their retirement with TRB, right? So apart from that, we also have like a monthly engagement activities that that will also motivate and inspire our people. Um, Rewards and recognition doesn't also need to be costly. A simple pat on the back, thanking our employees, our staffs, and officers for the good outputs, good results that they've done is I think a huge difference, rather than ignoring them or crediting the work that they've done, right? So I think you'd be surprised at what people can do by being just recognized, even without the material things or monetary rewards, right? And then we also have non-traditional benefits. So I know what does it mean by non-traditional benefits? Traditional benefits would include um, the ones that are part of your compensation package, right? So those include the leaves, the HMO, the group life insurance, right? So non-traditional benefits would be other perks, no, that your employees can enjoy. So for example, right now we have partnerships with Go Hotels and Robinson's Summit Hotels. So as a partner, we have a corporate discount that our employees can enjoy. We also currently have a partnership with EO, Executive Optical, which also gives us the exclusivity of corporate discounts that our way higher, sorry, that are lower than the market price, right? So those are the non-traditional benefits that you can add. Other perks like, I don't know, probably you can do certain games. I think gamified learning also is a thing nowadays, so you can also do that. So these are the things that that can engage your employees, that they can motivate, and sometimes employees need to divert their attention to non-work for a few minutes. So those are the things that you can do for your employees as well. And then of course we have the performance management and 360-degree feedback. So we do annual performance reviews, and then that would include the promotions and the merit increases as well, which are really the most reward that an employee is always looking forward to every year, right? So their career movement up the ladder. The 360-degree feedback helps also. Right now we're actually doing this first for our leaders, for the Mancom members, because what we want to do is to be able to connect um, what kind of leaders we have and how will they lead the TRB way, how they will lead our employees with the goals, the vision and mission, and so on and so forth. So right now, the 360 provides concrete or like actual data that will help the leaders improve on how they do things on a day-to-day basis. So I think we started doing this for our senior mancom in 2020, I think 2021. It was a good activity because we did one-on-one. The president and I did a one-on-one session with each of our senior mancom members, and they were happy with the results because they felt like it validated the leadership that they are. It actually measures three things: management, leadership, and their interpersonal skills. So it actually validated how they lead, how they manage, and how they interact with the people. And at the same time, what are the things that they need to improve on as a leader? So, yeah, there's a plan to do that for the entire bank um, with the help of a system, right? So, yeah, moving on. So yeah, so next that we are doing is the succession planning. So of course, one of the things I mentioned, the career path or the career development of the employees in the performance management, but also it's a good opportunity for the leaders to come up with a program that will help them identify their successors in the bank, right? So it's not that we are telling the leaders that you need to get out and be replaced by someone else. No, it's also like a backup system, right? Like having a deputy will really help. Like if you're not available to manage your team for several days, then you have someone to take care of the team for you, right? So and that person needs to be able to perform the duties and responsibilities same as you have. So that's the would mean that they are the so there. So I hope a lot of tips for you guys to adapt. So if you have any questions, let me know, or I think there's a Q&A later. Thank you so much. That ends my presentation for today, Miss Inka.
Okay, so thank you so much, Miss Kathy, for that very insightful presentation. I'm sure you guys were taking down notes and have listed down your questions. So you can ask your questions as early as now in the Q&A, and Miss Katie will answer it later during our fireside chat session. But for me, there were so many relevant information that she shared, even though I'm not HR myself. Like, I do agree with Miss Katie that it's important for employees to have that training and development. And that's why your role as HR is also very important to ensure that employees are getting that growth that they desire. So thank you so much, Miss Katie, for sharing your insights and expertise on that. So
Thank
I have
you.
a question, of course, Miss Katie. So I have a question for you
Okay.
guys. Are you ready to transform your HR processes? Or ano, feel free to answer what you guys are using now for HR. Like, is it manual, Google Sheets, Sprout, or any others? Just curious to see where you guys are when it comes to your HR process. Okay, nag-iisip pa. Okay lang. Um, Okay, so if you guys do want to learn more about Sprout's products, so Miss Katie did mention some stuff like employee engagement and learning and development, and those are all something that Sprout Solutions does offer as well. Like, it's not just HR and payroll. We have a whole ecosystem of products. So if you guys want to reach out to us, you can do so on Messenger. Just scan this QR code or type Sprout HR Tech in Messenger to reach out to our dedicated teams. So there are some solutions that we have that could very much cater to certain challenges or pain points that you're facing. So just feel free to scan that QR code, message us on Messenger, and our dedicated team will try to get back to you. So now let's continue on to our next speaker. She has a 13-year background in the field and is experienced in handling all the facets of HR lifecycle locally and overseas. She is an ISO 27001 certified lead auditor, TUV Rainland certified data protection officer, and has earned her Green Belt Six Sigma certification. As a lawyer, she specializes in labor, civil, and commercial law. Let's all welcome the Chief People and Customer Officer of Sprout Solutions, Attorney Arlene De Castro.
Thank you, Inka. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Okay, so the topic for today is really all about understanding the current state of rural banks and also how we can help you achieve growth and actually maximize your digital maturity in the workspace. No, so but before that, my name is Arlene. Yes, I'm a lawyer by profession, but my heart is really in HR. So 16 years na actually, 16 years in HR. And parang naging mission ko na, it has always been my mission to really impact the HR community, to serve as an inspiration and also modernize HR processes and also modernize kung ano talaga yung ginagamit ng bawat company, no? And the reason is because I've seen the value of technology being in a tech company, and also I saw how it can impact the lives of every Filipino in the Philippines na kapag gumagamit sila ng technology. And it's also aligned with our North Star, which is to impact the lives of every Filipinos by improving businesses here in the Philippines. Okay, but let's face it, guys. Who among you here agrees with me that there's an impression? May impression kasi sa rural banks. Sabi nila, yung rural banks daw, they're not very open to modern technology. That's the impression, ha. They're not open to modern technology and they stick to more traditional ways. Do you guys agree with me? Can you type it in the chat? Yes or no? Yes, ayan. So may mga nag-agree na sabi nila yes. Bakit ganon? Bakit ganon yung impression? At bakit may nag-agree dito na taga-rural? It's because may study dyan eh. Noong 2006, si Rao, may study na sinasabi niya na yung mga rural banks daw, because their clientele are in the rural space as well, like farmers, fishermen, cooperatives, and merchants in the rural areas, yung mga kliyente nila are also very traditional. And so, ang nangyayari, they're the ones adapting to this clientele. Kasi syempre, like, di ba, if your clientele doesn't want to modernize their ways. Kunyari, ay, ayaw ko ng, hindi ako marunong gumamit ng computer. Ayoko ng technology. Ano lang yan. Sayang lang sa oras yan and all. So, in order to get this clientele, they would stick with what they are familiar with rather than educating them with what advantages that this technology can offer them, etc. So, ganun daw yun. Parang ganun yung mindset. And it's also linked to the older generation din, no? So yung mga older generation kasi because they haven't been exposed to technology, and mostly the rural bank owners are those in that space, nahihirapan tuloy mag-adapt to change, okay? And so sabi ni Rao, this is a problem. It's a problem in modernizing these types of industries. Kasi ngayon, nagmo-modernize na rin yung different industries na kliyente ng rural banks. Let's say there's modern farming na, there's modern fishing and modern cooperatives. And as such, it's now time to modernize na rin the current state of rural banks. Sabi nga niya, one of the important or crucial facet of concern in rural banks is manpower. And manpower planning is one of the main reasons why. Bakit daw? Kasi sa rural banks, yung manpower planning daw, ang nangyayari dyan, recruitment. Hirap na hirap sila mag-recruit. Pero bakit hirap na hirap sila mag-recruit, no? Kasi nahirapan sila dahil, number one, manual ginagawa. Like literal paper and pen. Ganun yung ginagawa. And sabi yan, no, ni Miss Katie, agree with Attorney A on modernization. Kasi yan nga yung ginagawa nila. And that's why, we also love TR Bank kasi we saw their willingness to really adapt to the modern state in HR. Kaya si TR Bank is very progressive, and you can see it in the presentation of Miss Katie earlier, no? Sobrang happy ako when she said na, we're heavily invested in engagement and retention. She also said na we're heavily engagement in people development, learning and development and training. That's a sign that this rural bank is progressive and hindi siya part dun sa impression na sinasabi nila about rural banks. So, in a nutshell, yun nga, no? So recruitment, babalik tayo dun sa point ko kanina, recruitment sa rural banks daw, ginagawa paper and pencil. And then, nagta-translate din yan with the other processes. What happens is, let's say in their payroll, a lot of rural banks up until now are still using Excel. So manual pa rin, manual. And ano ba yung mga pitfalls nito? Next slide, please. Yung pitfalls nito would be human error, number one. So human error, no? So lagay natin kunyari, ang salary is 5,000, nagawa niyong 500 pesos. So anong effect nito? And I'm sure, comp and ben people here would agree with me na ang laki ng effect nito kasi people, especially those living from paycheck to paycheck, no? People complain a lot about this. And so it leads to dissatisfaction, and then nagkakaroon pa ng negative impression sa HR, very inefficient. Yan, sabi ni Nicole, yes, ganun talaga kasi it is done manually. But in reality, it is not the problem or it is not the fault of the person doing it, because in manual, human error is perfectly normal. It's completely natural because every person is gifted, but no one is perfect. And so if you do not modernize your processes, if you still continue on using your usual Excel, don't expect that it will change. Don't expect that it will lead to zero payroll disputes of some sort. Lalo na pag lumalaki yung organization, no? As a matter of fact, we have this case study. Yung sa case study namin, for the longest time, they've been in operations for 20 years. Their dispute rate is 50%. Pero kasi, done manually. Imagine 50% of their employees are saying na ay ano ba tong HR na to, hindi marunong mag-compute ng payroll namin. Yan. And then when they transferred to automation through our system, ang payroll dispute nila naging less than 2%. So that's the value of automation. Again, it's not the person's fault. It's really the fault of those people who fail to see technology as the answer to the problem. Okay, so yan yung sa human error. And then next is it's time consuming. And of course, we all know how valuable time is. And alam mo yun, dapat yung HR should be focused on the more strategic things. Like what Miss Katie said, okay, L&D 70-20-10. Dapat dyan kayo nakafocus, monitoring those, making sure that your people are learning, are doing training well, focusing on retention. Yung sinabi niya kanina, yung engagement strategies niya would be culture building, yung focusing on productivity. That's what HR people should be focusing on, because those are the things that matters. Because now, more than anything, it's no longer an employer-centric world, but an employee-centric world. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is, gone are the days that it's traditional. Dati, HR is linked to compliance lang. Di ba? Ano lang yan eh. Yung HR dati, okay, kailangan, people get paid on time. People will be hired, people will be fired. Pero, hindi na ganyan ang trend ngayon. If you stick on the traditional ways, if you stick on traditional HR, you are now behind the trend. And what do I mean when I say that you are now behind the trend? Change is the only thing that's constant in the world. If you do not abide or agree to the changes, you will be left behind. So every successful company now, no matter what field, no matter how small, no matter how big, the foundation now will always revolve around tech. And so the foundation now will always revolve around digital maturity. Next slide, please. Okay. And so, did you know, so nagkaroon kami ng HR study. Actually, this is the 2023 State of HR report, no? And noong 2022, actually, ginagawa namin kasi to yearly. So, kino-compare namin yan. Okay, ano na ba yung trend ngayon sa Philippines? Kayo guys, ano ba sa current ninyo, sa current companies ninyo, ano yung mga top pain points nyo in your company? Can you type it in the chat? Yan. So, dahil wala pa nag-chat ito, sasabihin ko sa inyo yung mga pain points, mga pain points ng 2022. Noong 2022 daw, sabi nila, it's recruitment, handling complaints and lawsuits, and compensation and benefits. Noong 2023, it is now number 1, retention. Second is engagement. Third is recruitment. Okay? So, nagkaroon ng shift ngayon. So, ang tanong ngayon, bakit ang hirap-hirap na magkaroon ng makaretain ng talent? Dati, 2022, ang hirap naman makarecruit. Ngayon, how do we retain talent? Ayan, no? Kita mo, sabi ni Nicole, recruitment, manual payroll, retention. Sabi ni Via, employee retention and competency building. See, the common theme now is retention. And this is not unique in the rural bank space. This is across the country. In the Philippines, we've surveyed over 400 plus HR professionals with 2,000 plus employees in the system there. Sabi nila, retention na ang problema ngayon. And so you are not alone. You are not alone in that. And that is tied up to what I was saying earlier. What I was saying earlier is it is no longer an employer-centric world, but an employee-centric world. Hindi na kayo dapat na problema sa mga basic things like payroll. Dapat yan, automated na yan. It shouldn't be an issue na dapat kung mag-shift kayo sa manual to automation, it should be a given. As a matter of fact, in this same study, 63%, imagine, 63% of those people that we surveyed are already using automation of some sort. So kung manual pa rin yung ginagamit nyo, sobrang super lag na kayo. Hindi na siya norm. Hindi na siya norm here in the Philippines. It's an exception na kasi majority is already using automation processes. Okay. So, move tayo to the next slide. So, yung future ng HR is actually shaped by these 5 factors. So, the first is technology integration. Ito yung kanina ko pang sinasabi. Involve technology in your processes. Make sure that your HR is digitally mature. Okay, what do I mean by this? The continuous integration of technology, yan, AI, bago yan. Do you guys know how to use mga AI tools? May mga chat GPT na ngayon. Actually, magtanong ko nga sa chat GPT ngayon, like let's say, what are the strategies in employee retention? Ang gaganda na ng suggestions eh. Like, how are you using machine learning and AI into the fold and how are you maximizing it, diba? Sabi nila, oh, kaso naman, baka it will replace my job eventually, kaya I don't like that AI. Actually, that's not true. Like, I honestly feel, this is my personal opinion, no? That the people who will lose their jobs are those people who will not utilize AI or who will not use technology in any sort of fashion kasi they will be left behind. They're the one who's gonna be left behind. Kumbaga hindi yan mag-replace ng jobs. It will actually help you in your job to make it better. And so, imagine, AI will help you in recruitment. How can AI help you in recruitment? So, imagine niyo, di ba, syempre, dozens of resumes. Normally, ilalagay yan in your, kung manual pa kayo, on your desk, di ba? Hindi ba maganda na, kunyari, type nyo na lang yung keyword. Kunyari, ang kailangan nyo is payroll analyst na may QuickBooks experience. Kunyari, ganyan nahanap niya sa job board. Type mo lang yung QuickBooks. Okay, ito na yung mga taong may QuickBooks experience. So, nalilesen yung processing time ninyo. So, that's called technology integration in your HR processes. And we have that in our system in recruitment, and it's called Manatal. So, anyway, that's in recruitment, no? In employee engagement, how are you using technology in your engagement? Have you done surveys, automated surveys for your people? If not, then paano nyo ginagawa yung surveys nyo currently? And then, paano nyo siya nakikip track? Gaano katagal yung oras na ginugugol nyo in order to determine what's the pulse of your organization? So, those are some factors that's heavily embedded in technology integration. Second, employee well-being. So, employee well-being, there is now a need, sabi sa future of HR. Yan, sa future of HR talk na inattendan ko. Sabi dito, now more than ever, not only in the Philippines but in the world, there will be an increasing prioritization of employee well-being. And it is now evident. Who among you here has a mental health policy for their employees na? Can you type in yes, we do, or no, we don't? Yan, sige. While waiting for the answers, I want to share with you guys. Yan, yes, we do. Congrats, Miss Odette. You are compliant, no? Yan. This is where my lawyer hat comes into the picture. Alam nyo ba, guys? Yan, si Rona din, meron din sila. Si Via, meron din. Alam nyo ba, guys, na kung hindi kayo familiar, merong Mental Health Act of the Philippines. And yung Mental Health Act na yon, sinasabi na merong need for organizations to implement a mental health program for their employees. So kung wala pa kayo, syempre yung iba mahihiya magsabi here eh. Pero just internalize what I'm saying ha. Yan, si Kim meron din. Internalize what I'm saying. Kung wala pa kayo, you guys are not compliant with the law. Yan. And paano nyo naman to gagawin? I mean, sabihin nyo, wala naman akong budget for mental health, di ba? There are actually free ways to do it. Merong suicide hotline ang NHA. Merong maraming mga ways in order for you to create a mental health policy or program for your employees without breaking the bank. Yan. And so like si Sprout, meron niyang sa system, if you avail of it, meron niyang yoga sessions, merong meditation sessions, merong one-on-one consultation with psychologists and psychiatrists, no? So, important daw kasi ngayon na magkaroon ng positive work environment or positive culture yung mga tao and mag-address ng burnout. Kasi nga, sabi nila, after pandemic, wala na empleyado na masusunod ngayon. Gone are the days na employer ang masusunod. Gone are the days na hindi tinitignan yung well-being ng empleyado. Kasi nga, sabi nga, 'di ba, merong Maslow's hierarchy of needs, 'di ba? So sa Maslow's hierarchy of needs, alam niyo ba 'yon, yung pyramid? Kung psychology students kayo nung dati, ito, maalala nyo to. Sabi, sa bottom of the pyramid daw, there's the physiological needs of man. Yan, sabi ni Jolie, yes, alam niya yan. Okay, yung physiological needs, ano nga ito? Ito yung basic needs of man, like food, shelter, clothing, yan. To breathe the air around you is a physiological need. Yan. Okay. Ayan, sabi nga ni Odette, yan yung reference niya when I view the needs of my team. Tama yon kasi applicable yan sa lahat, pati sa employees. And ano ba yung role nyo in HR with this? Diba yun, physiological. Next is safety needs, diba? Safety needs, yan yung health, secured yung pamilya ko, yung security ng mga anak ko, yung kinabukasan ng pamilya ko, who I work for and who I live for is very dapat secured yan. Yun yung second level. And dyan papasok yung benefits nyo. So, translated into HR, no? So, parang think of it as a game na you level up every time. So, first, physiological needs. Okay, na-achieve ba to ng HR? Food. Does the job bring food to the table? Yung salary ba enough for them to have comfortable home or rent sa home or sleep well at night? And then second, safety. Yung kinabukasan ba ng mga anak nila, may isip nila na okay yun dun sa trabaho nila. Yung health ba nila, okay, nagpo-provide ba kayo ng HMO sa mga employees nyo? Actually ngayon so I've compared yung mga different companies across all industries. Ang standard na ngayon, hindi lang yung employees yung merong HMO. Ang standard na ngayon, nagkakaroon na ng trend na talagang one free dependent. Parang nangyayari ngayon, yung mga employees, ayaw na nila mag-transfer sa company na hindi covered yung dependent. So, nagiging trend na siya ngayon. Okay, so that's safety and security. The third is self-esteem. Okay, ano naman tong self-esteem? It's really that confidence, that achievement na, I'm able to achieve this in my company. And dyan papasok yung sinasabi ni Miss Kathy kanina na, how do you reward your employees? And ang ganda nung sinabi niya, alam mo, a simple pat in the back does a lot of wonder. I highly believe that. Na, it becomes personal. Like, parang sinabi mo, you did well, ganyan. Kasi, di ba, sa love languages nga iba-iba ang love languages ng tao. And one of the love language is that affirmation. And sabi nga ni Maslow, that's part of the basic needs of man. Affirmation, recognition, self-esteem. And then, eventually, lahat ng yan, yun nga, di ba, parang game, nagpo-progress ka. At the top of the pyramid is self-actualization. That is the goal. What is self-actualization? Self-actualization is really achieving that inner purpose or maximum potential of that person. And so, like in a company, translated that to the employee experience, no? in a company, a person needs to feel that he has an inner purpose within her or within him. And that person also needs to feel that he can reach his maximum potential in your organization. And how are you going to do this? You're only going to do this through engagement, through learning and development, through culture building initiatives. Diba? Imaginein mo kung kunyari work from home lang kayo forever. Tapos hindi nyo na minimit yung tao nyo, let's say let's say kahit once a week. What will happen there? Mawala ng sense of connection or connectedness or belonging yung tao. And hindi ba sabi nga nila, part ng Maslow's hierarchy of needs is the need for belongingness. So part lahat yan ng employee well-being. Okay? And then the third is continuous learning and development. Ito naman, continuous learning and development, I agree with Kathy. I also use the 70-20-10. But more than that, hindi lang kailangan mag-upskill. There also needs reskilling ng mga employees. And other than that, dapat yung learning and development nyo is always tied up with an effective performance management system. Okay, ito actually very raw pa in the Philippines. Hindi pa lahat meron ito. Pero who among you here has an automated performance management system for their employees already? Yan, kita mo walang magsabi ng kasi ayaw nila na, kasi ngayon baka wala pa. Kasi very raw pa siya. Pero lahat kasi ng aspects ng HR ngayon, ino-automate na. Meron na sila Miss Odette, that's good. That's really good. Meron na rin sila Robbie, that's really good, no? Kasi ngayon, yung performance management system, so let's say for our system, no? So yung performance management system namin, it's linked to a learning management system. So yun, may library yun, let's say 1,000 na mga modules, na training profiles, etc. And then, it's also tied up with employee relations kasi dun mo na pwedeng sulatan ng, let's say, performance improvement plan or let's say, ng notice to explain. Tapos yung system na mismo, yung mangungulit sa'yo na, okay, you know, this person hasn't done their performance evaluation. Kukulitin niya rin si employee, oh, this person hasn't, or you haven't done your performance evaluation. Every day, kinukulit niya every hour hanggang sa dumating na. Kasi ang nangyayari, di ba? Tayo sa HR pa yung nangungulit sa employees na, ano ba naman to, hindi pa ginagawa, etc. And then, normally, ang hirap-hirap ng ibang system na complicated gawin yan. Tapos yung reports, very important yung reports ha. Kasi, so imagine nyo, let's say, merong isang manager na sobrang lenient or ang taas magbigay ng grade. Tapos meron isang manager na ang baba magbigay ng grade, 'di ba? So how do you kunyari ang system nyo is okay kapag naka-achieve ka ng 4.5 out of 5, you get let's say 5,000 increase. Kunyari ganun yung policy nyo, no? How do you reconcile that? The good thing about technology is meron na silang mga automated tools such as what we use in Sprout, no? Automated na yung i-compare yun ni system and then gagawin niya i-bell curve niya yun para fair for all employees yung rating. Ayan. So that's one improvement no na maganda sa isang automated performance management system. Hindi nyo na kailangan mag-isip about the reports, yung system na ang gagawa nun for you guys. And then of course, there's the data-driven decision-making. Okay, so as HR professionals, syempre, we heavily rely on data analytics to make informed decisions. Making informed decisions, conscious decisions about things. Kasi di ba, like, if we keep on doing the same thing and we expect the same result, then that's not very productive. So, syempre, kailangan natin lagi ng data in order to analyze and to see if tama pa yung ginagawa natin. Perfect example ko sa inyo. When was the last time that you did a salary benchmark for your employees? Yan. Kailan yung last time? I'm sure medyo marami pang hindi gumagawa yan. Like yung salaries nyo ba sa rural banks or sa companies ninyo is still at par with the current market? Yan. See, walang makasagot kasi mahirap gawin ito without the data. Yan. With Sprout, meron kami actually product. It's called Benchmark. So, nandun na yun. And ang good thing nito, this is anonymized data. So, you wouldn't know kung saan yan, kung sino yung mga taong yun, etc. But you'll know kung saang industry, you'll know kung anong level nila. So let's say HR officer, general, lahat dito sa Philippines, ito yung ranking yan. Kunyari, HR officer, minimum, let's say, is 16,000, median is 30,000, max is 40,000. Yan, nakalagay na yun. Tapos sasabihin mo, kunyari, kayo sa rural bank, sabihin, ay, ang baba pala natin magpasahod. Maybe it's time to let management know that we are in this situation and so that things can change. And yun yung ammunition nyo. Kasi 'di ba, sometimes ang nagiging problem ng HR people, hindi sila pinakikinggan ng management. Why? Kasi wala silang tools. Ano yun? Wala silang ammunition. Wala tayong ammunition normally in justifying what we need, 'di ba? Ako honestly, when I was starting out, that was my problem. Ano ba naman tong company na to? Ayaw naman mag-invest sa automated HR, nakakainis, kaganyan-ganyan ako noon sa sarili ko. Kasi dati pa lang nakita ko na yung value eh. And then, na-realize ko, kaya ganun, kasi wala akong ammunition. Later on in life ko na-realize, hindi ko siya mapakita in a business way na this is important, this can help in retention, this can help in employee experience, etc. Had I known the things that I know now, I would have gotten it. Yun. Kaya data-driven decision making is important. And which leads to the overall goal, which is employee experience. Okay? So yung employee experience, sabi nga ni Ms. Cathy kanina, it's linked to employee engagement. Okay? But mind you, employee engagement is different from employee satisfaction. Kasi ano yan eh, lagi na lang, akala ng mga tao, employee satisfaction, engage na yung tao mo. Kaya normally, nagpapagawa kayo ng ESAT survey, no? Sabihin nyo, okay, how satisfied are you with the company? Yung satisfaction nyo, di ba CSAT or employee satisfaction, yan, yung how satisfied are you? Kasi ang person can come in, let's say, 8 to 5 with their jobs. And then happy pa rin sila. Uwi na sila ng 5, happy pa rin sila. And then yung NPS naman, NPS score, Net Promoter Score naman, how likely are you to refer the company to another employee? Yun naman yung NPS, Employee NPS Score. Iba pa rin yun. Ngayon, iba naman yung employee engagement. How do you measure employee engagement? Yung engagement, it's the emotional connection that employee feels within the organization. Yun yung goal nyo in employee experience. Yun ang goal natin in employee experience. What do I mean by this? What I mean is, a person, yun nga, 8 to 5, di ba? Standard, 8 to 5. Hindi na siya nag-go beyond. Hindi niya na-feel yung na kailangan niyang ma-meet yung goals ng organization. Basta he'll just do his job. If a person goes above and beyond, if a person feels that he is emotionally connected to the team, to his internal team, to the other teams in the organization, to the company in general, na kunyari meron kayong mission, vision, if he feels na, oh, this is my role in the mission, vision, ito pala yung kailangan kong gawin para ma-achieve namin to as an organization, then that is engagement. And that is our goal in this world as HR professionals, to make sure that people have good employee engagement, and people will feel that we value them. Kasi it's only through valuing them, through making them feel that they are important to us and that we really value and care for them. Sabi nga na, di ba, if you take care of your employees, they eventually take care of the business. If they feel that genuineness in the company, in the organization that you work for, then that would contribute to positive employee experience. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, and so ito yung mga products ni Sprout currently. Ang maganda kasi dito, it talks to each other. Ang mahirap kasi sa ibang mga system, okay, hiwalay yung HR module, hiwalay yung payroll module, hiwalay yung performance management module. And so login ka pa ng login sa iba-iba, nakakalito on the part of the employee that does not contribute to good UI or user interface experience. No, here, ano na siya, pare-pareho na siya. So isang system lang. So of course, HR and payroll, That's our basic, no, and our bread and butter. So yun nga, 99.9% accuracy. May self-onboarding module na rin yung mga employees na mag-onboard in the system. And then may Sprout Mobile, which has geofencing and geotagging features, parang Grab. So kung field personnel, ang dali mo nang malaman kung nasan siya, saan siya nag-login, anong oras, yan. Insight, this is the data-driven analytics module of Sprout. So ito, one click lang. How many people are female? How many people are Gen X, Gen Z, ganyan, para makagawa ka ng mga programs individually for people, or let's say, who among these people smokes, ganyan. Nandiyan na yan sa HR analytics, which is Insight. Performance management, I've mentioned earlier na ito yung system na may learning management system involved, and then also there's recruitment. Ito maganda kasi may prescriptive analytics dito. So AI embedded yung recruitment. Pulse, this is the survey feature of Sprout, and this is what would tell you like, maganda dito, ginagawa namin to with our clients, ginagawa nila quarterly yan. Tapos na may measure nila, ay tumaas yung employee satisfaction ko dahil ito yung in-implement namin based on the Sprout Pulse surveys. So magandang siya, magandang benchmark siya in getting the pulse of the organization. Benchmark, ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo na bine-benchmark ni Sprout yung mga salaries ng bawat employees. So para hindi na kayo, ang mahal nito in other companies, if you get this report, napakamahal nito. But in Sprout, very minimal lang yung fee niyan. Health and wellness, this is the mental health program and of Sprout embedded in the system. And magbubok lang sila dun sa Sprout system nila, nandun na yan. Instacash is financial wellness. So, di ba normally ang problem ng mga companies, sabi nila, ano ba yan, utang ng utang yung mga empleyado. Ito, it's partnered with another bank. So, diretso na yan. So, they can loan as much as 50,000, one click lang. Yan, nandun na sa sa system yon. And then it's between the employee and the third-party provider na. And of course, professional services, which is the HR and legal services of Sprout. So all in all, I guess the end goal here, as I've said, is employee experience. And as I've said, in the state of HR, retention is number one problems. Now, in rural banks, it's time to modernize your ways if you haven't yet. If you are, congratulations, because you are in the 1% of the rural banks who've made their way towards modernization. So thank you very much, guys. And later on, we'll talk in the fireside chat. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Attorney Arlene, for that enlightening presentation. I hope you guys were able to learn a lot in Attorney Arlene's talk, because there really were a lot of good insights, such as like the common pain points of HR, and it's even backed by our State of HR report. So we highly encourage you guys to download our State of HR report. In a bit, we'll show you where you can download it. And this is very important because a lot of those insights are research-backed, and since it's still early in January, you guys can take the time to read it, and this will help you, hopefully, when it comes to building your HR strategy. So we'll just wait for, there, right there. So you guys can take your time to scan the report, and as mentioned, yes, it does have a lot of insights that are really gonna help you guys when it comes to industry surveys and analysis. So we hope you take this opportunity to elevate your HR game. And yeah, just feel free to scan the QR code. So while a few of you guys are scanning, it's very nice to see you all participating with our speakers, and we highly encourage that because it does motivate good conversation. And of course, you guys can send in your questions to Attorney Arlene or Miss Katie in the Q&A, and they'll answer it later on in our fireside chat. So now, to welcome our final speaker. He is the Chief Product Officer and the head of Sprout AI Labs, and leads AI efforts enhancing products, creating new AI solutions, and promoting AI adoption across Sprout solutions. Before joining Sprout, he co-founded and led Aya, the Philippines' fastest growing AI startup, ranking 4th in the Philippine Growth Champions 2023. He is also a faculty member at Ateneo John Gokongwei School of Management and actively supports the Philippine startup community. Please join me in welcoming a true champion of AI, Mr. Gian De La Rama.
Thank you very much, Inka, for the wonderful introduction. You know, one of the names of one of our AI chatbots that we will be releasing is actually Inka as well. And I will talk more about that later. So yes, thank you very much, everyone, for spending 1.5 hours of your time this morning, to listen about, how our clients and Sprout can help everyone in their HR or respective HR journeys. So, sa akin naman, I'll be talking about what Sprout is doing as far as, the new technology trend that's been happening the past couple of months, which is artificial intelligence or AI. I'm pretty sure that you guys have heard about ChatGPT, the fastest growing application in the history of consumer applications. It even outgrew TikTok, for a time. So, and, one of the things that was not mentioned during my introduction is that I also have some experience helping rural banks, no? So way back in 2011, if I'm not mistaken, 2012, my team and I were actively involved in understanding and helping banks, rural banks in particular, automate, their compliance processes with the BSP. No, it was there that I was first introduced into the sector. And while obviously, I started my company shortly thereafter, my experiences working and understanding and helping a couple of rural banks at that time opened my eyes to some of the challenges that you guys are facing. In fact, a lot of the things that we were talking about then are still challenges right now, and many of them involve automation or transformation. So anyway, back to AI. So as you know, AI has been here for quite a while. It's been discussed, ad infinitum in the mainstream media for the past couple of years. But in the past 18 months or so, there have been massive changes in the AI landscape, with the introduction of ChatGPT and I would say the maturity of what we call generative AI. And I'll talk about what generative AI is later. But what's important to understand is that according to a study by McKinsey, the current state of the art or the current trends in AI will result in up to $340 increase in productivity. While we understand that AI, can also be used in, I would say, negative ways, it is still first and foremost a tool, and as with any tool, it can be used for good or ill. And here at Sprout, we actively choose to build for the good side. So that's why we talk about AI as a way to augment talent, to increase their productivity, right? To increase their engagement, to increase their satisfaction, as opposed to replacing tasks or jobs. So next slide, please. So in banking in general, not just rural banks, AI, specifically generative AI, has risen to the top of investments made by the larger banks. And of course, you're asking the question, we're rural banks, iba kami sa Citibank, iba kami sa BDO or some of the larger universal banks. While that is true, rural banks are actually, I would say, closest to the customers that all of the bigger banks are trying to target, which is the unbanked or even the underbanked. And what I will show you in the next couple of slides is that, while bigger banks are investing in AI, we at Sprout are already building solutions that are now more accessible to SMEs, MSMEs, and even rural banks such as yours, as far as AI is concerned. Next up. So, I want to step back a bit, and talk about generative AI. Kasi ito yung uso. This is the trend that is happening right now. So what is generative AI? So it refers to AI techniques that learn from information or data and use it to generate brand new, completely original content at scale that somehow preserve the likeness to what it was trained on. So if you look at this, it's a fairly technical description, but kung kikilatisin natin to, no, if you look at it closely, this is actually how we teach students, right? We let students read textbooks written by experts in the field. We teach students to do certain things, right? Again, taught by teachers or recognized experts in their particular fields. And then we expect those students to learn, to understand, and eventually apply what they've learned, right? And generative AI, to some degree, approximate this part of human learning. And that's why it's very powerful. No? It's the creation or generation of original or brand new content. No? I will not talk about the legal implications, no, of copyright, etc. No? You can ask Attorney Arlene for the legal advice on that. No? But at the end of the day, generative AI will help create new content. And what does this mean for rural banks? What does this mean for MSMEs or even SMEs? Or any company for that matter? Next slide, please. So it means that you can now use this type of AI to help simplify content. So for example, say you have a new palengke loan, right? You want to offer unsecured loans to market sellers. And you want to be able to create a Facebook ad or maybe a Facebook post, even in Taglish, no? The generative AI now can do Tagalog, not just English. So, you want to create, okay, I want to create an ad for that will target market sellers. You type that in your generative AI application. And I will use this for Facebook. It has to be X number of characters lang. Then it will create content, no? And if you already have an existing, let's say, product description, let's say your marketing team already had a product description of this palengke loan. Now you can feed that, you can copy and paste that text and tell the AI, hey, can you summarize this or simplify this, no, to 150 words, usable in a Facebook or even a TikTok or even an SMS message, 160 characters. So that's what you can do about with simplification and content creation. Sa HR naman, diba? You can actually ask generative AI to create job descriptions. Now you can feed it what you expect, no? I am looking for I'd say a account officer, no, for my bank. Ano ba hinahanap ko? Ito yung qualification. No, kahit rough qualification lang, di ba? I want this person to be a graduate of this, has to be a college graduate. I want this person to have, let's say, 3 years experience in the banking industry, in a front office capacity, so on and so forth. So yun lang isusulat nyo. Pointers. And then it will create an entire job description that you can post, in your Facebook page, in your website. You can print it and, display it in your branches and so on and so forth. So yung task that normally takes a few hours can be done in a few seconds. One thing that we're doing in Sprout are actually chatbots and Q&A and search. Now, later, I will show you examples. So you can use AI to automate customer service, to automate Q&A. Say meron kayong mga bagong employees, hindi familiar pa sa mga policies ng banko. Or even, senior employees or more experienced employees who want to get a refresher. Rather than sending them to a training session, which will probably take 1 or 2 hours of their time, at alam natin, mahal yung oras nila. You can simply have a chatbot in your company that any employee can type a question about your company policies, and then the chatbot in a few seconds will give an answer. No, the chatbot is trained dun sa mga company policies and procedures nyo. Hindi lang sa HR, pwede yan sa IT, pwede sa finance, sa accounting, sa compliance, and so on and so forth. No? At the same time, kung you can tell your partners in the marketing function sa bank. You can also use chatbots to help qualify new customers, no? To engage new customers. And, rural banks, one would say na, hey, our customers aren't necessarily the most tech savvy. No, I would actually say that I don't think that's the case, no? Because even as early as 2012, no, when I was consulting for a couple of rural banks, no, and I interviewed some of the market sellers na kliyente nila, nasa Facebook sila. Diba? And we can create chatbots that are linked to Facebook Messenger. So we can now reach your customers where they're always at, no, in this case, social media. So there are a lot of things, no, that generative AI can do. But I just highlighted a couple of the I would say use cases na relevant sa rural banks. Next slide, please. Ayan. So how can what I've mentioned earlier, and I already alluded to some use cases, help you guys, no, especially frontliners, in improving their productivity and effectiveness. No, it all starts in hiring, diba? You want to make sure that you hire people that is the best fit for the role that you're hiring them for. So we can use AI to screen candidates at scale. Diba? I mentioned that we can train our chatbots on company policies. Now we can also train our chatbots on resume reading, no? We can say na etong candidate na to or etong resume na to, right, is a resume of a person na eventually na-hire namin, right, for this role. So obviously, your employees, no, our assumption is are the ideal candidates for the roles. That's why you hire them. So their resumes can be what we train our AI on. So when someone applies, right, for a job, tapos sinubmit nila yung resume na yon, our AI can read that resume quickly, compare it against the resumes that were marked as, ideal candidates, and recommend kung dapat ba silang kausapin ng recruiter or ng HR. So, if you're processing dozens or even hundreds of applications regularly, this will be a massive help kasi you won't have to do that part anymore. Training, yun yung na-mention ko kanina. No, you can have chatbots that answer questions about company policies, right? Or chatbots that you can train to serve as post-training companions, no? Say meron kayong ginawang training on a new product or nag-training kayo about best practices on, let's say, frontline management or customer handling. Now, we can train our chatbots on the training materials para just in case may tanong yung mga tao after the training, because that's the most important part, no? Sometimes, or most of the time, right, yung retention natin for classroom-based trainings aren't that high, no? Because we don't necessarily use them all the time once we leave. But if you have a companion, a virtual companion, or a chatbot na pwede yung balik-balikan anytime, no? Trained on what you learned, the goal is for you to retain your knowledge of certain materials longer. And of course, to help you apply them in your day-to-day work. No? And finally, now we have customer onboarding. So this one is more marketing rather than HR. No? But again, you can talk to your marketing colleagues, no, in your respective rural banks na, uy, pwede natin itong gamitin. So it's the same logic, no, as the training. Answering questions about policies, we can also train the chatbot or the AI to answer questions or even qualify customers. Oh, so we will train the chatbot on your products, your product descriptions. Sino ba yung dapat na customer? Anong profile? And so on and so forth. No? So that we can automate now yung prospecting para your marketing or even your salespeople, especially if they market loans, no? Let's say loans for teachers, loans for market sellers, di ba? Loan for Grab drivers, for example. You can create these products. And then you train those chatbots on those products, and then they can help potential customers to understand kung dapat ba para sa kanila yung mga produkto na yon. So this is just a snapshot, no, of what is possible. Actually, ang daming applications ng AI. No? Next slide, please. And if you think na this is too expensive, no, this is too, I would say, highfalutin. This is not for us. This is something, a first world solution, not a developing country solution. No, that's actually one of the missions of Sprout AI Labs, no, is to make AI accessible as well. So in fact, we have an experiment that we're running right now. No, you can go to this website, hrlink.ph. It's a chatbot that we trained on Dole material, right? The latest promulgations, the latest circulars, the latest version of the labor code. So we're running this, and we were able to train this pretty quickly and launch this pretty quickly, and we're giving it away for free. Now, this is free. You don't need to pay anything. Simply, you can ask questions, no, in the chatbot in this link about labor code. Maybe you want to ask a question about your de minimis. What are the standard, de minimis benefits as provided by law, and so on and so forth, no? Who do you ask, or what is the process if certain things happen to an employee? What is standard and what is said in the law, no? So rather than reading through all of the promulgations and documents, you can simply ask a question. Again, this is an experiment. It is not perfect, no? As with anything that we train, kahit naman tayo when we learn in a training session, no, the expectation is for you not to be perfect right off the bat. But the nice thing about AI right now is it learns. It gets better. Kung nakikita nyo itong sa screenshot, may thumbs up, thumbs down. This is not just to score. This is actually to tell the chatbot or the AI na tama ba, mali, and so on and so forth. And it gets better over time. So that's an example. Next slide, please. Next, this is what I mentioned earlier, no? So we have a solution called Sprout Inbound that we specifically designed for MSME real estate, automotive, and banking. No? So this is something that exists within Facebook Messenger. So it can automatically answer questions 24/7. It can present projects or products, right? It can book appointments. No? So automotive, it can be test drives. Sa real estate, it can be a viewing. Sa banking, it can be a consultation. No? We can also facilitate help, no, sign-ups and applications. No, maybe for again, for more universal commercial banks, specific let's say credit and debit cards, new accounts. In this case, what you're seeing, no, is a loan calculator. So this is a loan calculator for a bank that offers loans for teachers. So ito yung possible na target market, no, ng mga rural banks. And we can also do some self-service web application, meaning, right, the customers can send in information on their own. Di na nila kailangan tumawag sa bangko. And then someone in the bank, no, once our bot qualifies them, can reach out, no, to continue yung application, because obviously we understand that, diba, there are certain rules, there are certain policies that we still need to follow regarding information security, data privacy, right? That we cannot yet do a fully automated application, say, of a loan end-to-end. There is still some parts of the process na kailangan may pipirma, diba? Kailangan pa rin mag-CI, NBI, and so on and so forth. No, but this one, it's designed to automate the top of funnel, no? Yung first few interactions with potential customers. Usually, ito naman yung mabigat kasi ito yung marami. Next slide, please. No. Yeah, and this is an example then on, if you have your own, if you have your own call centers, or if you have your own support people, now we can also have AI to be a co-pilot, yung kasama sa conversation with the customer. So this is just an example, no, from a telecom use case. No? But if you look through this, is that when someone chats or calls, pwede natin makuha yung information nila sa systems nyo. And depending on the type of conversation that is happening, depending on the content of the conversation, yung pinag-uusapan, as you can see dito sa right side, no, of the screen, the AI will suggest answers or courses of action. So in real time, habang nakikipag-uusap yung support sa customer, tinutulungan niya yung support, yung agent, no, to always give the right answer, or at least to suggest answers that may be of use in the conversation. So again, these are applications. These are not, these are not I would say, science fiction items. And this is happening now. No? And at Sprout AI Labs, we're actually working to ensure that all of these that I presented to you, no, over time, in fact, HR Link is already available. Yung chatbot natin for company policies will be available in the next 2 weeks. No? So if you're interested, no, please reach out, no, to our CSMs or account people, and we can deploy something for free, no, so that you guys can test out. Next slide. Yeah. So to close, I want to answer the most, I would say, the most asked question when it comes to artificial intelligence. No? And see, Attorney Arlene alluded to this earlier. No? Will AI replace me? No? First and foremost, this is a valid question. No? We at Sprout and we at the AI community understand the risks of what we're doing. No? We're not blind to the fact that there are scenarios wherein AI can replace tasks, right? But we also understand that as a tool, it's always a double-edged sword. So the answer is quite complex. So it's both yes and a no, right? What does that mean? So AI right now, even the most state-of-the-art, is good at replacing specific tasks. Yeah. Tasks. It's nowhere good enough on its own to replace people. No? There's this big bridge that has to be crossed before that happens, right? That being said, when I say tasks, that's why I said it's actually quite complex, is that some roles are actually just tasks, right? So, babalik tayo ngayon sa job design nyo. If yung trabaho ng isang tao, if yung role ng isang tao sa isang kumpanya is just one single task, then most likely that person might get replaced by AI. So I'm hoping that, obviously people are more complex than just one role. So, AI will not, at least at its current state, replace everyone. The future for now, in the next 5 to 10 years, actually lies with the fusion of AI and people. We at Sprout promulgate the idea of AI being a co-pilot, a co-worker, right? Yung virtual kasama of an employee to help them become more productive by automating tasks that are repetitive, right? Offering help when needed, and being a sounding board, right? An engagement tool so that employees can reach out to the company when they need help. No? Next slide. So yan, so Richard Baldwin, no, of the World Economic Forum last year said that AI won't take your job. It's somebody using AI that will. Yan. So the goal now is for us to be literate in artificial intelligence, not just blind to what is happening. No, ChatGPT is free. Now I suggest you guys go to openai.com, look at ChatGPT, understand how it works. You can even go to HR Link, right, and understand how it works. So these small steps now will help you and eventually your employees become more AI literate, right? So with that, last slide. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. Again, if you need someone to talk about AI for you, just reach out. If I have time, I'll be happy to even talk to you guys, virtually or in person, help you understand how AI can help. So thank you very much, everyone, and have a wonderful morning.
Thank you so much, Gian, for sharing your expertise on how AI helps automate our processes and can make our life easier. And it's really amazing to see the capabilities of AI and especially how Sprout is already leading towards that direction to help more businesses. So if you guys want to see more of the capabilities of the AI chatbot, as Gian mentioned, you can check it out on Sprout's website. So for this webinar, we are coming to a close, and there were just a lot of insights that we wanted to share with you guys, which is why we went a bit over time, but we will move on to our fireside chat. So if you guys want to send in your answers in the Q&A, please drop it down below. But while waiting, we highly encourage you guys to send feedbacks on your webinars, because this will really help us make future webinars better for you guys. So Yes, just kindly answer the survey that will appear on the screen. It's only going to take 2 minutes to answer, and we assure you that this form is very short and easy to complete. And again, if you enjoyed this webinar, we do have more webinars coming up on other topics that you may be interested in. So we'll just give you time to answer the webinar and process all of the information that has been shared by all our wonderful speakers. If you guys are done answering the webinar, please feel free to chat done so we can just get an estimate on where you guys are in answering the survey. Okay, so we have a few people that are finished now. If you guys want to send in your questions in the Q&A chat, please do so. We have a few questions already. So this one, I think, was from Miss Katie Stock from Rolando Visca. Aside from team building and Sport Fest, what employee engagement activities can you share with us? So Miss Kathy did share that they did virtual movies with the team, and they also did virtual games like Kahoot. So you really just have to be kind of creative with what people will enjoy. And Palomar Solana asks, can you share with us how to have effective performance assessments? So Ms. Katie shares that right now, most organizations use OKR, but for them, what really works is still having KRAs and KPIs because they are measurable, and as a bank, most of their work results in numbers which can be measured. Making it effective is having someone monitor and ensure the completion of the activity on time. Okay, so a lot more people are answering the surveys. Again, if you guys have questions, just feel free to drop it in. And let's have Miss Katie and attorney Arlene join and take the virtual stage so that you guys are more encouraged to ask them about their expertise. And yeah, we really encourage you guys to take this opportunity to ask them any questions that you might have regarding the topic. Oh, and also, Gian, Gian is still here. Yes. Any questions on AI, learning and development, or other HR pain points? So, okay. So maybe while they're still thinking, Attorney A, do you have siguro any questions that are commonly asked by people that you would like to share or
Yeah,
discuss about?
so I'd probably be moderating this. So yeah, maybe I have a question for Miss Kathy. So given
Yes,
that you are
Attorney.
in the rural bank space, I wanted to know what is the best change management strategy specifically for rural banks in having a technological shift? Because a majority of our people in the audience are still doing manual, pero they're finding it hard to really like um change, may it be sa executives or sa tao nila. So what's the best change management strategy?
Actually, kasi there is no one framework that fits um, the strategy or the change management itself. Eh. Kasi for us actually sa rural banks, no, um, you can agree with me yung mga taga-rural banks dito. Traditional kasi yung way of doing things talaga. So very manual, talagang paperworks and all. So it's really difficult for them to transition into using technology. But I think from my experience, the most effective strategy is to really communicate. No, you have to present the problem. You have to make them understand the problem and also present the solution that you need to develop or you need to move into or transition into using technology in order for the problem to be resolved, no? Kasi, and you can't just easily like in one click na, oh, bukas gagamitin na natin tong technology nito. That's not how it works. It really is a process, no, that people will need to be able to open up to the idea. We need to, it's like selling a product as well, eh. So you have to make them understand that this technology will be able to help the company grow, but also as well as make our work easier and make it efficient for us to do those things, no, mga tasks na yan. So it's a process for them. You need to kailangan ano sila make them on board dun sa idea of transitioning into the technology. So I think communication is the key to change management talaga, kasi people don't want to be blinded, especially of big changes in an organization, ano. So they need to be involved also in the transition itself, no? So they need to be able to understand the new technology that you are introducing also. So yun.
Okay, thank you, Miss Kathy. And I completely agree with you. So, napakaganda ng answer, no? Communication and involving people in the process. Kasi, for me then, you need the buy-in of everyone, not only from the top. So, syempre from the top, di ba, sa kanila manggagaling dapat yung directive. Pero at the same time, kailangan also from the rank and file, you have the buy-in of people. And what better way to do it is by including them in the process. So, yung process nyo ng mga brainstorming or getting their feedback on how they feel about certain things, and then actually involving them in the implementation would greatly help you in your change management strategy. Okay, thank you, Miss Kathy. Okay, I have a question naman for Gian, kasi actually may mga nag-PM sa akin dito kanina. So parang sinasabi daw natin yung advantages ng AI. So ano naman daw yung mga pitfalls that we have to look out for in AI? And kunyari, and paano naman daw yung dun sa mga intimidated in using AI or machine learning? I mean, how can they be less intimidated by these things because they really don't understand how it works? Yan. Magandang question yan for Gian.
Yeah, magandang question. Well, no, let me start by saying you're not alone. In fact, most businesses in the world are not AI ready. Even Google, one of the AI champions, they themselves are not completely AI ready. Diba? They were caught off guard when ChatGPT was released. Hindi nila produkto yun. Diba? So, dahil yun for AI. I need to say, but that's I've been asked that same question, what are the negative? For me, see, I realist. Um, pros really in the AI right now, no? One human factor, one human factor that causes one of the is human. Okay tayo sa okay lang. What I mean, right? We are okay with an approximation. We don't even care about it's
Okay, I think we lost Gian, no? Am I right? Is it just me?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we lost Gian. But Miss Katie, do you have any like tips for people who are intimidated with AI, especially you're coming from the same industry?
Oo.
hello.
Actually, yung AI kasi para lang siguro at ease din yung ibang co-rural bankers natin, no? Yung AI kasi dependent din kasi yan sa data, eh. So yung sinasabi ni Sir Gian kanina na most businesses are not AI ready, it's because of the data that you're going to use for the AI itself, no? Kasi kung hindi pa ready yung data mo, then definitely you cannot use AI. So, kaya din sinasabi ni Sir Gian kanina na at least that's how I understand it, no? Na yung answer to the question na is it gonna replace people, yes or no? It is really complex, no? Pero kasi for 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 me, in my personal opinion, yung AI will not completely replace a person's job, no? Kasi yun nga sabi ni Sir Gian kanina, it will replace a task. So if one person has multiple tasks, tapos isang task doon will be checked out kasi it will be using AI, then that person can, devote most of the time to other projects or other tasks na mas importante. I think that's the help na magagawa ng AI talaga sa businesses ngayon, but not entirely um, replacing people or the jobs. Ano? So that at least that's how I understand it, Sir
Yeah.
Gian.
Thank you, Miss Kathy. No, sorry I got disconnected a bit. Yun, di ba? We're not immune to internet disruptions. That's actually one of the cons then of AI right now. AI requires a certain level of connectivity. So kung yung infrastructure ng isang lugar or ng isang bansa is not ready, then they are by default cut off from some of the I would say advances in AI. No? So that's a con because um, one of the biggest challenges that we're also doing in AI right now is all of the work is done sa US, sa China, no, richer country. So paano naman yung data ng Pilipino, 'di ba? US data, let's say in banking, iba yan sa data ng Pilipinas, 'di ba? It's a different market, different consumer behavior. So, how it makes AI not accessible, that's another con, no? The other con is again, AI is data dependent, but it can also cause misinterpretations from people who are not literate in AI as well. No? In fact, most of the negative impact ng AI right now are caused by knee-jerk reactions from people who do not understand what it means, right? So how do we combat all of this? No, so first and foremost, actually the easiest thing is try it out. Sabi ko, punta kayo sa ChatGPT. Try it out. Makikita nyo ask it a banking question. Ask it something na you know intimately, an HR question. One of the things that you'll notice, I would say, a big majority of it, if there is one characteristic of AI now, they answer incorrectly, confidently. No? Sa Tagalog, bolero sila. So, yon. And then that's a con. I want to be transparent there. Because again, generative AI yan eh. Hindi siya kinokopya. 'Di ba? In fact, mga estudyante ko alam ko kung bolero o hindi. 'Di ba? 'Di ba? They don't naman regurgitate kung ano yung nabasa nila. Same thing sa AI, no? Try it out, look at the limitations, see what it's good for. And then, attend sessions, maraming libreng sessions online. Even sa TikTok, there are a lot of AI influencers now na may short campaigns about, what is AI, what is not AI. Just learn. I think yun yung best solution to combat the cons is understand. And then, if you are a decision maker in HR or maybe a decision maker in technology in your company, maybe ask to try something small. Hindi naman kailangan big bang, 'di ba? For example, yung ginawa namin Q&A, yung HR link, we just say, hey, can we try it? Can we load kung ano yung nasa Dole na website? Diba? Kasi napagod kami na magbasa ng Dole. And of course, I think Attorney Arlene can attest to that, the amount of documentation that one has to go through. No? Just Dole pa lang yan. In fact, we haven't even loaded BIR, SSS, Pag-ibig, PhilHealth. If you get the whole statutory benefits shebang, right? There's a lot of documents. No? So, parang, try out small implementations. In fact, we can try one of our solutions or you can try one of the free solutions online. Pick something na hindi private. That's one thing that I have to say. Something na doesn't require customer information, right? And then try it out. Right now kasi it's about experimentation. It's not about, no one will ever understand everything. It's about you gaining more knowledge, more information based on your own experience. Nga, yung 70-20-10 sa learning, di ba? Hindi naman lahat ng bagay natuturo, karamihan in-experience. Same thing with AI. So yun.
All right, thank you, Gian. And in the interest of time, no, I just have one question for our two panelists. So, in one word or sentence, how can we future-proof HR in rural banks? Yan, one word or sentence lang. Okay, you wanna start, Miss Kathy?
Ang hirap ng tanong.
Mahirap nga.
Future-proof. I think sa isang sentence, parang mahirap sa isang sentence. I think the best thing I could say is everything that you do in your company, always go back to the purpose, no, the vision and mission, and align everything, lahat ng plans and everything to that vision and mission, kasi it all boils down to one purpose. Ano ba yung purpose ng organization ninyo?
Okay.
So yeah, so I think yung future nyo will tell you once you have understood the vision and mission by heart.
Okay, thank you, Miss Kathy. What about you, Gian?
Ako, educate, no? It doesn't have to be AI. In fact, any change requires a certain level of education. And the best way to promulgate change is to teach. At least for me, ah. Well, again, teacher ako, so yun yung
Oo,
aking,
biased ka dun.
So,
I
biased ako ng
agree.
but yeah,
Oo.
educate. Yun lang.
Okay, all right. So it's good, no? So for Miss Kathy, it's all about alignment with the mission vision. For Gian, it's about educating. And for me, it's all about employee experience through tech. And so that's how, from our perspective, panelists, you can future-proof your HR in this digital world for the rural bank. So thank you, everyone. Back to you, Inka.
Okay, thank you everyone for joining us today. We hope you've gained valuable insights in today's episode of HR Masterclass. And of course, if you guys are interested to attend more of our webinars, we have another upcoming webinar on January 23 about strategic AI integration, revolutionizing learning and development across industries. So you guys can register on our website, sprout.ph/events. So thank you once again, and you can catch more of our latest webinars. You can also catch events and HR trends on our webpage, and we hope you guys enjoyed and have a happy lunch. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Sprout, for having me.
Thank you,
Thank
Miss
you.
Kathy.
Thank you, Miss Kathy.
All
Thank you, Miss
right.
Kathy. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.